Hello and welcome everybody. My name is Savage and today we're going to be having a look at Bitcoin. We've had a bit of a move to the upside here and we have to reevaluate some of the count, but for the most part it's reacting like we talked about yesterday. We did give a scenario where this would happen. So before we get into that though, I'd just like to say thank you for watching the video, and also if you're enjoying the content, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback in the comment section down below. Okay, so let's jump into the video now. So basically what we were looking at here within this move is the potential that we had an extension. Now, it is still possible, though looking at the current structure of this move to the upside, I'd say it's very unlikely. And actually what I think is going on is that we have completed this green 5-wave move into this low. And all that would have happened then is basically that this third wave would come higher up here, and we would have completed this as a 5-wave move into there, and then we'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 into this low. So it is still possible that we look to break down from here, though the current structure isn't really suggesting it. So now that we have, if we look at this as a completed move into this low, first off, we wouldn't look to break down past this level here at the 16,256, and we could be looking to progress to the upside. So there's two possibilities here, that we could either be looking for this as a wave 2 into this zone here, indicated by this red box, and this is just a typical rejection area off of this move to the downside. So we have this 17,424, which is 0.5, 0.618, and the 786. It can go higher than this, though we wouldn't really want to come too high, otherwise it risks invalidating. So continuation to the downside would only become invalidated by crossing this 18,387 area. So now if actually I can remove these lines from here. So now if we come back down into these lower time frame, we'll come back down into this zone here. So there's a few ways of reading this movement. If I just switch this over and turn this break, basically what we can be looking at here is potential that either we have a B, C to the upside as a corrective structure, or we're going to be getting a bigger 5-wave move to the upside here. So these are the two things I'm looking at. So it is possible that we have our 5th wave completed here, and then we could potentially be within this 3rd wave already. And what we would be looking at there is we would basically not want to cross back below this low point. If we do, then it would be more probable. Well, let me explain something first. So basically, we can count this as a 5-wave move into this point, and then basically this would then be a wave 2 as a zigzag here, and then we would effectively have a 1 and looking for this as a 2. It is also possible, however, that we could put this 5th wave here, and we can have a slight extension within this wave 3, where this is 1, 2, this is 3, 4, and 5, and then we have this as a 4th and 5th. So there's two options with that. If we're looking at the option that we have finished early and we have started wave 3 already effectively within this count, what we'd be then looking for is the fact that this could be a 1, and we could have set it to at this point here potentially. And we would be looking for a 3rd, 4th, and 5th to the upside. The confirmation of this would only come by crossing above the 17,341, and this would be a typical target area for this wave 3. Then we would be looking for a wave 4 retracement, and then additionally a wave 5 to the upside. We can see that if this does play out, as shown, we got this typical area of a 5th wave here, which is this 17,490 area to the 17,403 area. So we can see that this doesn't quite reach the typical wave 3. Let me just throw a box on here for now so I can get rid of this fib. So we can see that this doesn't quite reach this impulsive trigger here, or this typical 3rd wave travel area, which is a 17,525. So it doesn't mean that it can't progress still as a 5-wave move. It doesn't have to reach us. It's just a typical area that it generally reaches. So we could see something like this, and then this could actually become our wave 3 high here, and then we have a fourth and a fifth. And the alternative is that we could also just have this as a 5-wave move, a B, and then this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if we throw this onto there, bring this down into this low point, we can see the 1-to-1 of this would be looking to target out this 17,353. So that would be just something we need to be aware of. If we do get this 5-wave move here, it could be possible that it is actually just a ABC to the upside, and then we could look to break down from there. So that could be an A, a B, and a C to the upside like this. So if that's the case, and we fail to develop an additional fourth and a fifth wave within that move, if it plays out as we've got shown here, basically what we'd be looking at is this is a potential wave 2 or a wave B, with all of this move to the downside, being an A, a B, and then looking for a C to move to the downside. And basically with this, if it does develop just as an ABC, what we could be effectively looking to do is target out this 15,437 area again. Though my most probable outcome of this, if it does start to break down, would be looking for that third wave, and that would be confirmed by crossing down below this 14,306 area, and that would basically change this whole move into a bigger 5-wave move to the downside. So with that being said, we have to just bear in mind that there is also, like I've said before in the previous video, there is potential that we could set up a C wave to the upside here, and we're still within this fourth wave. It's not very likely, and I don't really like counting the structure like this, but it is technically possible. So we could actually be looking at this as a zigzag within this move here, and then we have this breakdown as a C wave, and then we're looking for a push to the upside here. And basically what would happen with this is, if I measure this off here, this would potentially look to target out these higher zones here, there, down to this low, this zone of here of this 1-to-1, which would be this 18,287 area. If we develop a 5-wave move to the upside here, this could be a potential target area for this, though like I said, we need to be aware that we are expecting more downside, so I'm not expecting whether this forms an ABC like this and we have a short little bullish phase, or whether we come into this zone and then face rejection. I do think that primarily the move is down. We could see a little bit of a bullish move within this, but we'd have to monitor it. But there's not the fact that we've had this as a 5-wave move down here. It becomes quite likely that we're going to look for an extension to the downside, especially with the fact that we're already looking for another 5-wave move to the downside. So that's what I'm looking at with that. The breakout, this is what we need to be aware of. It is still possible, like I said, that within this move there's some kind of a corrective structure that we're missing, and it's could still drop down to the 16,236 to the 16,045, though it's not very likely given the current count to the upside here. If however, actually, sorry, there's something I needed to go over with this. Yeah, so but basically it is possible to come back down here, and this is actually all still a 4th wave, but it's not very likely. I think that this is the better count, better interpretation of it. But basically within this other move here, we've talked about what can happen if this is a 5-wave move here, and then we're looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to the upside. Though what can also still happen if I just let me remove this as well. If this 5th wave does end up here, we have this as a 4th wave like this, what we would then be looking is for potentially to move down into a B wave retracement, and that would be this retracement area here. So if this is to play out, basically what we'd be looking at is the potential that we are forming an ABC to the downside, something like this. So it'd be possible we're still within this B wave, and what we'd have is this as an A wave, and then we'd be forming this as it looks to be flat. It would have to be, yeah, it would have to be a flat correction. So what we'd be looking for is the potential that this is an A, a B, and then we're looking for that C wave to the upside. So potential target area for this would be sort of the 16,988 to 17,000 area. So we could potentially look to push back up into this zone and then break down to the downside. So that's just something we need to be aware of. For as long as we are below this high point here of this fifth wave at the 17,061, we could still be looking for continuation to the downside. So obviously, if we do push up higher into this zone, this C wave wouldn't be as deep, though it is possible that we could see progression to the downside. So we just need to bear that in mind. Until we take out this high point, there could always be extension to the downside. And if I just throw a fib onto this mark here, up into that high, we can see that a 1-to-1 would bring us back down towards the 16,710 area. So that would be if we move to the upside. If we actually just move straight down from this point here, and this is our B wave completed, and we don't have this this other ABC to the upside, basically what we could then be looking at is a move a bit deeper down, and that would be looking towards the 16,633 zone. So we can see here that this is previous support, and we've had some touch points within this zone. So it could be an interesting little area that we look to target out. Though until we break this red line area, it is possible that we could be looking at that other option that we talked about. So it's just something we need to bear in mind. This structure within here, I would say, yeah, it looks like it's forming a flat correction. It's just whether this is going to become expanding or it could actually become a running flat. If it becomes a running flat, then it probably technically met its minimum requirement already. Yeah, it has, but the structure is not great. So this would be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, potentially. Yeah, so we could look to target out these areas here within this 236 to this 1.618 before looking for that continuation to the downside. Okay, so I hope that this video helps and you find it useful. Basically, we've got a few options here, and it all depends on whether we hold this low here and whether we break this high point here. If we do break down below this red line, basically the target area would be this green box, would be my next target area for this, and that would be looking at the potential that we have a either, like we said, an A, a B, and a C to the upside, or we could potentially have a bigger 5-wave move in this sense. It is also possible that we just finish shorter here, we don't come down into the zone, and this basically then becomes our wave 1, and then this becomes our wave 2, and then we look for that push to the upside. Though I would be happier with this structure if we came down one more time, though within the fact that if we have that extension that we talked about, and this is actually a 1-2, then the fact that we haven't come down so far is not as it's not as sort of bad. It doesn't skew the shape of the move as much if this is a 1 and a 2. So we just need to be mindful. And if we fail to hold the 16,710, then it's probably more likely that actually this fifth wave is here. Then we have this as an ABC to the downside, and then we'll be looking for that additional fifth wave after we complete this yellow ABC. This yellow ABC is invalidated by crossing that 1761. Okay. So like I said, I hope that everyone found the video helpful, and if you did, please smash that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and why not leave us some feedback in the comment section below. Also in the description, you'll find an affiliate link to BYBIT. This is a great exchange to use in our opinion. It's the one that we use when we're doing our trading, whether that's spot trading, leverage trading, shorting or longing the market, it's a great platform to use. Basically, you can set up your stop loss, your take profit, and it'll show you all of your how much you're risking and your liquidation price before you've even gone live with the trade. So it really is great for helping you with your risk management. Also in the description there is a link to the Discord. Why not jump down into it and come and have a chat with us? Just mention a member of staff and we'll be happy to help you out with anything. Okay, with all that said and done, everybody take care out there and we'll see each other in the next video. Cheers.